We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but some people seem to be able to use those 24 hours better than others. And when it comes to practice, some singers seem to be able to squeeze more value out of their practice sessions than most. Today, I'm going to talk you through 10 singing tips that will radically change the value of your singing practice, helping you to squeeze every available minute for everything it's worth. Seriously, this is powerful stuff. I hope you'll stick around to learn more.
Sound check. Check 1, check 2.
Hey there everyone, my name is Dr. Dan. Welcome back to Voice Essentials, the YouTube channel where everybody sings. And when I say everybody, I mean you. Learning to sing is a lifelong journey requiring countless hours of dedicated practice, not only learning new songs, but also technically developing the voice. And just like you, I don't want one single minute to be wasted when I step into my practice space. So I'm always on the lookout for great practical tips that will help me and you to get the absolute most out of your singing voice. And just recently I read a short article by Dr. Dean Southern in a dictionary for the modern singer titled Practicing 101, 10 Tips for Making the Most of Your Time Between Lessons. This is a great little chapter packed full of helpful hints. So I thought we'd use Dr. Southern's 10 tips as the scaffolding for today's video. And make sure you watch the video the whole way through because the tips aren't in any particular order. So tip number 10 is just as crucial as tip number 1. Speaking of which, Dr. Southern's first power tip is to schedule your practice time. I know that I work through a to-do list best when I schedule the task into my diary. If you don't allocate the time into your day, then you're likely to have other priorities crowd out the opportunity to practice. Dr. Southern also recommends scheduling your practice and an optimal time when you know you won't be too tired to work. When you do schedule the time, make the practice room your sacred space. We live in a world of constant distraction. Email, SMS, social media, all of these live in the domain of procrastination. So make sure you set up a space in your house where you can practice unhindered by distraction. And this will allow you to focus and absorb all that you're learning. The third compelling tip offered by Dr. Southern is to set goals for your practice time. Singing goals fall into one of two categories, objective and subjective. An objective goal is generally broad and includes such things as singing with less tension or with a better sense of connection to the narrative. Subjective goals are far more specific and might consist of managing tongue root tension or similar things like that. So always try to avoid the temptation to practice your singing without a clear set of goals in mind. If you're struggling to think of goals for your practice, Dr. Southern recommends using your lessons as a blueprint for your practicing. This is an excellent idea because I know that my lessons with students will often zone in on one or two areas of technique that require attention over the coming week. If you're just starting out on your learning to sing journey and you're not yet taking private singing lessons, then perhaps you'd like to try using my free 7 Days to a Better Voice program to help you set out a blueprint for your practice for the next 7 days or so. Our fifth idea for effective practice recommends starting over every day. I think that this is a great life tip in general. Every day is a new day with new possibilities. And it's important to not allow yesterday's failures or successes to determine what the outcome of today will be. Dr. Southern further instructs us to start over each day, writing, "It is tempting to start your practice sessions with the tonal and physical memory of where you ended on the previous day, but this can lead to vocal fatigue and frustration." And no one likes a tired, grumpy singer. And when you do approach each practice session anew, be sure to gradually warm up the voice for the vocal workout ahead. I know how tempting it is to just jump straight in and start singing through your songs, but if you want to get the most out of your practice and also look after your voice over the long term, then every practice session must include a dedicated warm-up period of between 15 to 20 minutes. But even when you warm up well, it's important to understand that your voice has anatomical parameters that will require you to set limits on the time spent singing. Basically, you can't sing all day every day. Now, personally, I recommend starting with 20 minutes every second day, increasing the time by 5 minutes every week until you're able to practice for about an hour or so. Dr. Southern states that opinions vary, but it is generally accepted that the maximum one should spend singing in one day is 2 hours. Otherwise, the muscles of the vocal apparatus fail to function efficiently and you run the risk that your singing will not be as healthful. Hey, we've got 3 more practice power tips to go, but before we round out the full 10, please take a quick moment to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video. I know when I practice how tempting it is to merely sing through songs one after the other. Actually, we're better off breaking our music up into manageable sections. Try working on your songs in parts. So, for example, practice each verse by itself. You can even workshop specific phrases, isolating dynamics, articulation, and breath management. When we break the song up into sections, we effectively place it under the microscope, revealing aspects of the songs that might have otherwise been brushed over when simply singing from beginning to end. And what about those days when your voice is in no condition to practice due to a cold or general fatigue? Well, Dr. Southern's 9th suggestion for productive practice is to find effective ways of exercising without singing. When learning contemporary material, I recommend researching a new piece online, watching various versions of the song on YouTube, including the original cover. This will provide you with some helpful insights into what others have done with the piece artistically, all while you rest your own voice. Dr. Southern's final power tip for better practice is to memorize your music deliberately and early and review it often. I think the key word here is deliberately. As Dr. Southern points out, effective memorization is not something that happens accidentally. It takes conscious effort. And the sooner you memorize the lyrics to your song, the sooner you can develop a sense of connection to the narrative, which in my humble opinion is the higher goal. Well, there you go, 10 tips to help you get the absolute most out of your singing practice. Perhaps you have some other ideas that have helped your vocal practice become more effective. We'd all love to hear them, so please leave your comments below so that the wider Voice Essentials community can learn from your experience. I'm looking forward to reading your comments over the coming weeks. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.